Happening then. All right. To our other top story, a Fox News alert on new developments on the talks between Secretary of State John Kerry and his Russian counterpart on an effort to find and destroy Syria's chemical weapons. Greg Palcott streaming live from Beirut, Lebanon, just miles from the Syrian border. And Greg, what's the latest on these talks?
Greg, the folks here are looking very closely at those talks in Geneva to try to deal with the threat of chemical weapons from Syria. It is day 2 of possibly 3 days of talks in Geneva. Secretary of State Kerry described the meetings today as constructive with Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov. The two sides, however, have a lot of ground to cover. Probably the biggest sticking point is the threat of military action by the U.S. Syria says it will not do the deal unless that is dropped. So far, the U.S. says it is not dropping it. Here in Beirut, it is a Muslim holy day of prayer, and a lot of people here are praying for peace. We've seen a lot of spillover violence from Syria, a lot of refugees coming over. There are indications today, and that is encouraging some here, that these talks on chemical weapons in Geneva might lead to broader negotiations about a broader peace settlement in Syria. In fact, there was a commitment today to meet on the sidelines of a UN General Assembly meeting at the end of this month as those talks go on. But, of course, even more ground to cover in those broader negotiations, Greg.
And, Greg, what is happening on the ground in Syria today?
Yeah, for all this talk, Greg, about chemical weapons, most of the damage, most of the killing done for the last 2.5 years in Syria has to do with conventional weapons, and they have been in play on the ground in Syria today and throughout this week. Regime forces and al-Qaeda-linked rebels have been clashing in the town of Malula. It is a Christian town, an historic place to the north of Damascus. It appears that government forces are regaining control there, but it is a nasty fight, and as with a lot of fights in that country, religion in the middle. And there is new claims from the Human Rights Watch group today that the forces of the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad were responsible for massacres and executions in 2 towns in northeastern Syria in the early part of May. That left, again, according to this agency, almost 250 men, women, and children killed. We are also hearing, Greg, of course, on both sides, a lot of brutality to go around in this battle. Back to you.
Greg Palcott streaming live in Beirut. Thanks very much.